Okay, so do you have move to any pod to perform a crew action there?
No.
Phil, have you got move to any pod to perform a crew action there?
No.
Okay, so the logistics expert has the once per game ability to deal out all the remaining movement cards. So if you use the logistics expert's once per game ability to deal out all those remaining cards, you'll be guaranteed to get to move to pod and use pod ability. So you could use that to get the botanist morale up, and we can complete search pattern and realign solar arrays on the same phase. You just deal them all to yourself, or all to me. It's you deal any one to any of them. So the captain is going to count his card as reading move to any array, and he's going to go out to the oxygen hydropod. Because science officer is going to move to the main airlock and gain 1 oxygen for so doing.
Botanist is going to move to the pod.
And gain 1 morale. Then
And logistics expert is going to move outside.
Okay.
The first officer is going to move to the solar array by the medical pod.
Way through the window at the botanist.
And the radio officer is going to go and take a look at the cryogenics pod from outside.
Okay. Okay, so movement phase. So oxygen counts down by 6. Although, sorry, by
No, it
2. It counts down by 2 because everybody outside the ship is forced to breathe their own personal oxygen supplies. The botanist can increase anybody's morale by 1.
Who's got the lowest?
First officer's the only one on 2.
Well, because everybody's going to lose 1 morale when AI shutdown fails, there's no point putting somebody on 1. Put somebody who's on 1 onto 2, because then they'll still have 1 morale. So the science officer's on 2 morale, but he'll have plenty of buddies. Really, the botanist just put his own morale up by 1. The botanist should put his own morale up by 2. He's the only person that will really benefit. So check mission phase. So AI shutdown fails, because we have used crew ability. So it's science officer and botanist gets their voting tokens back. Token is removed. Everybody reduces morale by 1, and the mission flips face down. And then check mission success. Search pattern. Each of the crew are in a separate location. So who was voting 10?
Logistics.
Logistics expert. So search pattern is successful. We get to flip 1 challenge card to complete that mission, and we remove mission from the game. And then realign solar arrays. We have 1 crew in each solar array. So we get to complete that mission, flip 2 challenge cards, completing that mission, and the first officer gets his voting token. So start the next challenge phase. There's no missions to count down. Flip and resolve next challenge card, which is vent oxygen. Try to reduce the general oxygen by living crew. Activate mission 2. So that is a reduction of 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And mission 2 is emergency oxygen protocol. So to succeed, every crew member has to have at least 1 personal oxygen, because we're going to sort of load up on oxygen. The oxygens are venting for some unknown reason. We'll recycle the oxygen system, and to do that, everyone has to have 1 personal oxygen. If we succeed, we get 6 oxygen back to the main supply. If we fail, we've got 2 turns to do it in, we lose an additional 4 oxygen. Now the science officer has already got 1 oxygen.
As does the logistics expert.
Because he did have 2. I think everybody else is on 0. So we've got 2 turns to do it in. Obviously, everybody outside the ship will be back in the main airlock next turn, so we could do it.
I think we probably ought to go for it.
So if the first officer and the captain say yes, I think everybody else can say no, and they'll still outrank everyone. So we're ready. So we've got 41 yes, and then what? 16 odd no. Mission guide. And new movement phase. So everybody outside the ship has to treat their card as moved to the main airlock. So the science officer is going to move to any non-array location. In this particular instance, he's going to choose the hydropod because he's on morale 0, and the botanist is going to go into the hydropod. And the captain is going to use the solar array ability to move to the main airlock.
Going to move to the hydropod and perform a crew action.
So he'll increase his personal oxygen by 1, decrease the supply by 1.
And logistics expert moves inside.
Okay.
The first officer will just move inside, as will the radio officer.
Fantastic. Okay, so everyone breathes. This one, we do reduce oxygen by 6. Everyone's back inside the ship. So nobody's on their own morale 0. Nobody's in the rec room. So it's crew abilities. Are we all going to load up on main airlock oxygen, which will cost us 6 oxygen, and complete the mission, which will give us 6 oxygen?
Well, the logistics expert doesn't need to.
Yeah. The only people who need to are the captain, the first officer, and the radio officer. Who are all in. I think we may as well just load up on it.
It's not quite a nil-sum game.
It's a total of 3 additional oxygen, essentially. Yes, it's not total nil. Yes, you are correct.
We are just halving the reward. But
Yes, it still is a reward, and I think we may as well just do it and get it done with. Okay, so the captain's going to increase his personal oxygen by 1, which reduces the main supply by 2. The science officer is going to increase the supply by 1 because he's in the hydropod.
Botanist will increase the oxygen by 1. Logistics expert doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Both the first officer and the radio officer will get 1 personal oxygen, reducing this by 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, so that's crew actions. So check mission phase, emergency oxygen protocol has been completed. It says everybody has at least 1 personal oxygen. So that mission's completed, which means that we gain 6 general oxygen, and the mission is removed from the game. So next challenge card is Sinister Noises. Try to reduce the highest rank crew's morale by 3. So just be the captain. We've got 6 more turns of oxygen, but we're completing missions at a decentish rate.
It's going really well, unless you're the pilot.
What's wrong with it? That unless you're the pilot. Sorry, I forgot.
The pilot's suffocated by the room shutting down, the room knocking on him, and all of the oxygen getting sucked out.
I could move to a module and flip 1 challenge card face up, but both my guys have morale 0, so they would then die. Does anybody
I can make
have
1 person not die.
Do you have move to the medical pod and perform action there?
I do.
Okay.
And I have a person with morale who won't die by standing in the medical pod on his own.
Well, I can move to any non-array location, and morale is an issue. So I'm going to put the science officer into the medical pod.
Okay.
And
well, I've got moved to rec room and move 1 other crew.
yeah, but that wouldn't increase the morale of the captain and the captain be in the module.
That's true.
Although to be fair, you could just drag him back out of the module and it wouldn't matter. So, well, I'm doing those things. I'll trust you guys to look after me.
Although the logistics expert does need morale.
In that case, I think take the logistics expert into the rec room with you.
So move the botanist
And logistics expert into the rec room. The captain will go into the computer module. The science officer. Oh, then the botanist will be left on his own. Can the botanist handle that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's all.
Well, no, the botanist was going to move into the rec room and take the logistics expert with him.
Oh, right. Well, then that's double good. Okay. So the captain is going to move to a module and flip 1 challenge card as a reward. Maintenance report. And the science officer is going to move into the medical pod.
Okay, botanist is moving to the rec room. And taking
The
logistics expert with him.
Radio officer is going to go to the science pod and perform any 1 crew action there.
Yes,
I'm going to up the captain's morale by 1.
Thank you.
And the first officer is going to use the ability of not revealing his card and go to the location of someone else who's not revealed his card.
So in that case, that will be the logistics expert.
Logistics experts in the rec
So
room.
you discard both cards. So everybody breathes, and the science officer is going to increase. I'm on. Is anybody else on morale 0?
The radio officer who's standing next to you.
Oh, okay. So the science officer who will look after himself and increase his morale by 1. So your guys are in the rec room, and the science officer.
The radio officer will then up his morale by 1.
Great. No missions running, so on to the next challenge phase, which is targeted life support failure. Try to flip face down a location with the most or equal most crew in it. Life support offline, heating offline, radiation shielding offline, all systems 100%, AI control 100%. Why? Is something amiss? So that location is going to be the rec room, because it has 3 people in it. So location flips face down.
Which means I lose both my crew.
Yep, so the botanist, the logistics expert, and the first officer all die. Everybody else reduces morale by up to 3, down to a minimum of 0.